Hey everyone, and welcome to Bite Size Tactics. In this video, I wanted to have a look at the Repulsor, probably one of the best, if not the best transport in the Space Marines Codex, and possibly one of the best transports in the game currently. Looking at the Repulsor's profile, it has a 10-inch movement, toughness 12, 3 plus armor save, 16 wounds, 6 plus leadership, and OC of 5, and currently costs 190 points. Now, when we look at the keywords, it has a smoke keyword, so it can use that smoke stratagem. And the vehicle and transport keywords are also really important for abilities and stratagems throughout the game, and also which detachment you might play in the Space Marine Codex. For its abilities, it has the Deadly Demise D6 ability. The Repulsor also has its own inbuilt ability called Emergency Combat Embarkation. This means once per turn, during your opponent's charge phase, if one of their units targets yours and it's within 3 inches of this transport and also not within engagement range of any other enemy units, it can get back inside the transport. And that's quite strong, especially in some detachments. Now, there are a lot of weapons to cover for the Repulsor, starting with the Hunter Slayer missile, which is basically the Hunter Killer, can only be used once per game, and it can be shot indirectly. It's strength 14, minus 3 AP, and does d6 damage. And this is just something to help with those tougher enemy models on the battlefield. It also has the Repulsor Defense Array. This has 18 shots, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage, so this is really great at dealing with light infantry units and bullying them off objectives. Next, we have the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon. This has the Devastating Wounds ability, but at strength 6, 0 AP, and 1 damage. It should do some decent damage to light infantry units, but having Devastating Wounds is also quite handy if you're looking to target those tough units. Finally, for the ranged weapons, we have the Twin Heavy Bolter. This has a twin linked and sustained hits 1 ability, and again, this is good at just drawing those infantry units that you come across. At strength 5, minus 1 AP, and a flat 2 damage. For combat, it has the Armored Hull, which has a decent strength of 8, no AP, and 1 damage, so it might be dangerous for some light infantry units, as it does have a fair few attacks, but nothing to really talk about. Now, if you wanted to, you could exchange the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon for the Las Talon. This has 2 attacks at strength 10, minus 3 AP, and d6 plus 1 damage, and this definitely packs a decent punch against most things you'll come across on the battlefield. This model can also exchange the Twin Heavy Bolter for a Twin Las Cannon. Now, this weapon will have the Twin Linked ability, with only 1 shot though, at strength 12, minus 3 AP, and does d6 plus 1 damage. So this is also very good at damaging high toughness enemies, so you have a little bit of play with how you want to equip your Repulsor. Now, the Impulsor does have some downsides, so it can be move blocked, and it can be targeted with some very high AP and high damage weapons as well, so you do need to be careful of that. Also, you don't want the Repulsor to be stuck in combat because you want this unit to be able to keep moving infantry units up the board to take objectives and do secondaries with. It is slower than some other transport models though, just so you are aware, like the Impulsor. It's also still quite a large model, so you need to be careful with how you place your terrain, if it's a player terrain game, or how it is set up on a battlefield for you in tournaments. And also, if you are below 5 wounds, or at the 5 wound mark, your model will be at a -1 to hit when attacking. Now let's go over what the Repulsor really excels at. Now, it does have some very good shooting with a lot of different variations like we talked about before, and you can deal with pretty much all sorts of units that you'll come across on the tabletop. Its inbuilt ability can also be quite useful, especially in the Firestorm Assault Force detachment, so be sure to check out that synergy. It's also really great at getting those units upfield and into the scoring positions that they need to be in. The Repulsor also has quite a large transport capacity, so you can put more than 1 unit inside at a time, and this gives you a lot of play here with where you want to deploy your units and where and how that will take place. And this model also allows for some great mission play and tactical play as well, especially in the hands of a very advanced player. It's also extremely tough and durable and has some really good OC, which can really help you when trying to take objectives from your opponent. Now, looking at the Repulsor's transport capabilities, you can have up to 12 Adeptus Astartes infantry models inside. Jump Pack, Wolfen, Gravis, and Terminator keyword models will take up to 2 slots per model, so you can have up to 6 of either of those. And Centurions will take up 3 spots, so you could have up to 4 Centurions inside the Repulsor at one time. You also have a massive amount of variety in the units that this transport can have inside of it. So this is really great in expanding your Space Marine army or just being able to use it across all different sorts of chapters, whether it be Space Marines, Blood Angels, Ultramarines, your own chapter. It's really versatile and a great model to have. Now for the mission play, this model is great for setting up a large unit or multiple units on objectives to score secondaries and primary points as well. And because this transport can have multiple units inside, you can really spread them out where they embark and then disembark in this transport. Also, currently transports are really good in pretty much every single detachment at the moment, and they have a great place in game state so far. This model will be quite a big threat to infantry units as well, so it can be useful to kill those units off objectives and take away your opponent's other small mission playing pieces that they're going to be relying on to score them secondary points or hold their fortified objective and other objectives to score primary. So for my verdict, this model is really the Primaris version of the Rhino, just with a lot more guns. It's as if the Rhino took steroids or evolved in Pokemon. It's actually a really great piece. And because this model is so useful, it not only has a decent amount of weapons and damage capability, it's also a really great transport in itself as well. So it's fantastic for all Space Marine armies. And if you are a beginner or just looking to start getting into some transports, either as just getting back into the hobby, or if you are just wanting to grow the army that you have currently, this is really a great model to start with as it gives you a lot of variety and options. And again, the game's play right now for it is great. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click the like button, comment what you think of the Repulsor and whether or not you would think it's pretty much a staple in your list, and subscribe to the channel for more content if you enjoyed it.